Hello and welcome to the Channels Book Club. The first National Green Essay Competition is being organized by the Uplift Development Foundation in collaboration with the Channels Book Club. The foundation was founded by the First Lady of Ogun State, Mrs. Olufunso Amosun. After receiving hundreds of entries from across the country, the judges went to work to pick out 40 finalists who will battle to qualify as one of the 13 winners in the final round, which will take place in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, on Wednesday, September 17, 2014. In today's episode, 3 of the judges joined us to share their experiences and thoughts on green education in Nigeria. But before we have them on set, here is the list of 40 finalists for the National Green Essay Competition. You can also find the list of the 40 finalists of the National Green Essay Competition on our Facebook page displayed on your screen.
Many factors define your health. Some you can control, while others simply beyond you. On Health News, we highlight all these factors and through medical experts provide information that will help you take informed decisions on healthy living, nutrition, and keeping fit. Get incisive health policy analysis. Health News, promoting good health.
Welcome to this segment. Joining me today are 3 of the 4 judges of the National Green Essay Competition. Kaine Agari is a 2008 winner of the NLNG Prize for Literature. Dr. Jibono is a renowned environmentalist and adventurer who has traveled across the Sahara by road 3 times. And Titilayo Oyinson is a popular on-air personality with Inspiration FM. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
I know working as a judge on competitions like this are very challenging. It takes a lot of time, a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifices. I'm going to start with Dr. Jibono. You've got a crazy schedule. What's the motivation for this, and how have you found the experience?
A bit challenging, like you said, but rewarding in so many ways because I got a different type of education by reading through the essays, a few hundred of them, and when it got to the point of looking at the theme for the essay, green education for the youths. Green, the aspect of the green, that is the education part that came with it. Then of course from there you move to the educational side of it. That deals with advocacy, because when you educate the children of today, or let me call them the secondary school children of today, you by implication educate a whole community, because they are going to discuss this with their parents, they're going to discuss this with their fellow students, and then of course the other side of it is the youth involvement, which is also a different type of advocacy, because the land we live on today is given to us on loan by the children. The whole theme covers quite a lot of what some of us have been preaching over the years, and that is to bring some kind of awareness and some kind of sensitization of the people towards our decaying environment.
Titi, what did the experience tell you about the level of education of our children, particularly with regards to green education?
Well, I was actually really encouraged. I was surprised, happily surprised, that majority of the essays, you could tell that the student, the writer, actually had something to say. Whether they got the message across or not is another matter entirely. But as regards green education, I think it's something that's long overdue. I think that this particular competition is educating a lot more kids than you would even know, because the children that were writing these essays would have had brothers and sisters, and as Dr. Jibono said, uncles, fathers, mothers, who they would have to consult or maybe even just discuss with, or maybe even, mommy, daddy, just go over this for me and, you know, see if I got this right or not. You know, so it's reaching a lot further than we could have ever imagined. Actually gave me a lot of appreciation for my teachers in school. And I was just thinking, like, wow. So all these exam scripts that I've been writing over the years in school, is this how they used to go home and write? And I was just like, wow, really? But overall, I was happily surprised. Happily surprised.
Green education, Kaine, how important is it? In the last few years, there's been a bit of an emphasis on that. Maybe in the last 4, 5 years. Beyond then, I can't remember anybody was talking seriously about green education for young people, with the exception of maybe people like Dr. Jibono. But it's getting a bit louder now, so to speak. How important is it?
I think it's really important for us generally to be aware of what it means to be green or to go green, but also for the young people, so that it becomes a lifestyle for them. For the older people, sometimes it's a bit more difficult to change habits. But for young people, growing up and growing up green, you know, there's so many possibilities, not just for the environment and for our society, but also for them in terms of green businesses, in terms of the opportunities that are out there, the potentials for creating products and services that are green, that encourage us to go green, that reuse our waste, that turn our waste into you know, useful products or fuel that we can use for other things. So I think it's important because young people are not restricted by anything. They can be very imaginative, and so once you get them going and you get their juices flowing, there's a lot that can come out of this group. So I think it's really exciting that this program is out there and targeting the youth.
Dr. Jibono, what's your take on this competition? It's the first national green essay competition. I don't think there's another competition for secondary school students focused on green education in Nigeria. I stand to be corrected. I don't think so. Well, what's your take on the competition generally?
Well, it's the awareness that is being created in the process. Because like I said earlier on, it's not just going to end with a few hundred students that wrote essays on this green education. It's a wider issue. It's more than just sitting down and writing an essay. It's not just the education that the student who must have done some research is going to come up with. But the fact, like I said earlier on, is the community. You see, it's the bottom-up arrangement that I find very fascinating. You know, before now it's been top, bottom, you know, it's we, the elder ones, that educated the younger ones. Now, and that's why I give a lot of credit to the initiator, the First Lady of Ogun State, for a wonderful idea, because we've gotten to a stage now where we have to keep doing the bottom-up arrangement. It's only by bottom-up arrangement that you can galvanize and sensitize the people to a point where they will begin to appreciate what it is to go green, to begin to appreciate what it is to live green, and begin to appreciate what it is to practice green. So much joy in it. And of course, it's something we cannot do without. You know, it is something that has to continue. And by leaving it in the hands of the younger generation, that is the only way you can ensure continuity and the kind of awareness that one is trying to create in the process. So that's my take.
Titi, you spoke earlier on about the encouragement you had from some of those submissions. Did you read scripts that got you alarmed? Did you come across such submissions?
I wouldn't say alarmed. I would say some were disappointing. But I wasn't disappointed in the writer. I was disappointed in the person that taught that writer. I wasn't disappointed in them because also in some of the messages, or some of the scripts we went through, we saw the pictures of the students. We also saw their results in school. Even some of the ways that the teachers were actually commenting on the results that we saw from their schools. You could see that the teachers that are even doing the teaching might need to be taught a thing or two. I'm just saying, you know, I stand to be corrected as well. One thing about children is that they are impressionable, and creating the right impression is very, very important. If, for instance, they've been in an environment where they've been told, you know, oh, just submit it, you know, just write something. They've not been told to do their best. They've not been told to give their 100% into writing that essay because they have a hope to win a competition. Then you probably will see it in the writing. You'll see it in the emotion. There were some of those essays that were very emotional. And then there were some that even sounded angry. There was some that sounded, you know, desperate. Like, you know, I'm desperate for people to understand that I understand this. I understand what green education is. I understand how to write an essay. There were some that you could even call condescending. You know, there was some that was like trying to instruct the reader on what green education is. Like, I'm going to tell you how it is, and whether you like it or not, just take it like that. You know, so it depends on where the child is coming from.
Okay, can you give us a bit of an insight into how you went about scoring the students, the submissions?
I think I was probably very generous with my scores. Dr. Jibuda I'm sure he saw that in the way I scored. Especially for, you know, we had to score them on, I think, 4 or 5 different areas. Their depth of understanding, their grammar, their presentation, their organization of their essay, and also their research. And I think for depth of understanding, I was very generous because I thought, you know, even if it doesn't come across in the essays, at least they've had an opportunity to come across this material. And, you know, so I was very generous with them. Grammar, I wasn't so generous. But I think for me, it was just, I wasn't as hard as I would be if I was grading, you know, a regular essay, because I thought I was looking at it